girls, children of all ages. Welcome to Robert's Report Show. I'm your host, Robert. NCAA playoff semifinals. Whew, here we go. 2 bowl games. The winners of these go on for the national championship. We have the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Washington Huskies 12-1 versus the Alabama Crimson Tide 13-0. The PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. Ohio State Buckeyes 11-1. Clemson Tigers 12-1. This is the third year for this playoff format. Alabama's made it all 3 years. Ohio State's made it 2. Clemson 2. Oregon, Florida State, Michigan, Oklahoma, and Washington are the other representatives. In 2014, Ohio State versus Oregon for the national championship, and then last year, Alabama versus Clemson. Ooh, Washington versus Alabama. Pac-12 versus the SEC. Both teams are averaging 40-plus points a game. Washington 44.5, Alabama 40.5. Washington giving up 17.2, while Alabama giving up 11.1. On paper, these two teams pretty close. Washington has won the last 3 games by an average of 28.3 points. The last time that Washington had 11 wins was in 2000. The last time they had 12 wins was 1991. Alabama has won 25 straight games. Their last loss was Week 3, 2015 versus Ole Miss. In the last 3 years, Alabama is 37-2 in the regular season, 3-1 in the playoffs. Who can stop the Alabama Crimson Tide? I don't know if anybody can. But just listen to that record. 37-2 in 3 regular seasons. Incredible. Incredible. Alabama favored by 15. 15. Oh yeah. The Chick-fil-A Pizza Bowl. Each of these teams gets $6 million. Each school gets $6 million. Nick Saban makes what, $10 million a year now? I think something like that. So this is most of his salary. It's just one game. Who said college football isn't big stakes? But yet, these student athletes, yes, I've argued before, yes, they do get paid. They get that scholarship. But here's the thing though. Most college students can go out and get a job. Work part-time. During, Christmas break, they can work. Not the athletes. They can't get a job and work. You need to give these athletes something besides, yes, to get the education. That's money. Yeah, it's money that you don't have to spend on education. It's awesome. But you still need to give them something on the, like a part-time job type money. As $1 million, most of these bowl games are worth $6 million. So we'll get back to that. Let's get back to the games. Alabama favored by 15. I have the Alabama Crimson Tide winning, but I'm taking Huskies to cover the 15. Next, we have the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. Ohio State, Clemson. Both teams get $6 million. Both teams scored 40-plus points a game. Ohio State 42.7, Clemson 40.2. Defenses, Ohio State giving up 14-2, Clemson giving up 18.4. Ohio State has won the last 2 games by 4 points. That's it, 4 points. We have a Big 10 team versus the ACC champion. We have 5 power conferences. Big 12, Big 10, ACC, SEC, Pac-12. You have two conference champions not here. Big 10 conference champion, Penn State. The Big 12 really doesn't have a conference champion, but they kind of do, Oklahoma. I don't like the fact you have a non-conference champion here. When you have another undefeated team out there, yes, they're from, I believe, Conference USA or American Conference or somewhere, but you have a non-conference champion who's not undefeated. Whatever. That is what it is. But I'll tell you about Ohio State. Won the last 2 games by 4 points. In the last 3 years, they're 37-3. In the last 4 years, they're 49-5. In the last 5 years, they're 61-5. They've had 5 losses in 5 years. Clemson won their last 3 games by an average of 26 points. Clemson's 26-2 in the last 2 years. Ohio State is favored by 3.5. I'm taking Clemson, giving them the 3.5, and they'll cover it. That will wrap up the playoff preview. So I have the finals, same as last year. The Alabama Crimson Tide versus the Clemson Tigers in the national championship game. We're going to go over the few bowl games that I haven't gone over yet here. So it's going to be a let's playoff format preview. Now we're going to get into some bowl games. We have the Valero Alamo Bowl, where each team gets $3.175 million. We have the Oklahoma State Cowboys 9-3 versus Colorado Buffaloes 10-3. Colorado favored by 3, I have them winning and covering. Next we have the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, where each team gets $1.475 million. We have the Georgia Bulldogs 7-5 versus the TCU Horned Frogs 6-6. Georgia favored by 1. I'm giving the 1 point to TCU. I have TCU winning and covering. Next we have the Hyundai Sun Bowl, where each team gets $2 million. We have the Stanford Cardinals at 9-3, or Cardinal, excuse me, versus North Carolina Tar Heels at 8-4. Stanford favored by 3.5, and then winning and covering. Next we have the American Mortgage Company Music City Bowl, where each team gets $1.8375 million. The Nebraska Cornhuskers at 9-3 versus the 8-4 Tennessee Volunteers. Tennessee favored by 3 points. I'm giving the 3 points to Nebraska, and Nebraska winning and covering. The Nova Home Loans American Bowl, where each team gets $155,822. South Alabama Jaguars at 6-6 versus the Air Force Falcons at 9-3. Air Force favored by 13, and the winning and covering. Capital One Orange Bowl, where each team gets $4 million. We have the Michigan Wolverines at 10-2 versus the Florida State Seminoles at 9-3. Michigan favored by a touchdown, and then winning and covering. Tax Slayer Bowl, each team gets $3.5 million. The Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets at 8-4 versus Kentucky Wildcats 7-5. Yellow Jackets favored by 3.5, and then winning and covering. Next we have the Buffalo Wild Wings Citrus Bowl, where each team gets $4.55 million. LSU Tigers at 7-4 versus the Louisville Cardinals at 9-3. Louisville. And LSU is favored by 3. I'm giving Louisville the 3 points. So Louisville plus 3 covering. Next we have the Outback Bowl, where each team gets $3.5 million. We have the Florida Gators 8-4 versus Iowa Hawkeyes 8-4. Florida favored by 3.5, and then winning and covering. Next we have the Goodyear Cotton Bowl, each team getting $4 million. We have the Western Michigan Broncos at 13-0. 13-0. Western Michigan Broncos not in the playoff. When the non-conference champions in the playoffs with 1 loss. But they're facing a Big 12 team of the Wisconsin Badgers. Wisconsin is 10-3. If Western Michigan wants to have anybody recognize their undefeated season, they've got to win the Goodyear Cotton Bowl. They can beat a Big 10 team and go 14-0. At least they have 1 good win. I mean, they have some decent wins. I mean, their opponent's win-loss record isn't as horrible as some people think it is. Wisconsin's favored by 7.5. I'm giving it to Western Michigan. I'm on the Western Michigan Broncos bandwagon. I have them covering. I have them winning. Oh, what I got here? I'm giving them the 7.5. So I got Wisconsin or Western Michigan plus 7.5, with Wisconsin covering the 7.5, and a Western Michigan Bronco win. Next, we have the Northwestern Mutual Rose Bowl. Each team getting $4 million. USC Trojans at 9-3 versus this is a Big Ten champion, Penn State. Nittany Lions at 11-2. USC favored by 6.5. I'm giving it 6.5 to Penn State. So Penn State winning plus 6.5 and covering. And last, we have the All-State Sugar Bowl, where each team gets $4 million. The Auburn Tigers at 8-4 versus the Big 12 champions, the Oklahoma Sooners 10-2. Oklahoma favored by a field goal. I got them winning, covering. I don't like how the rankings, that you have a committee deciding who's in your playoffs, that should be done on the field. There's a video on Robert Sports Show. If you go back through the folder that has all the NCAA stuff in it, and you go back to the beginning of the year, I did a kind of a remake of the NCAA. Basically, it had 2 regions, and then you had 4 conferences in each region, and it had 8 divisions in each region. So that was, your Division 1 was your playoffs. You had the typical like NFL type format playoffs. And then you had a national champion. You didn't have a committee. You didn't have a rankings. It was all done on the field. That's where they need to get to. So, if you want to take a look at that, I will try to get that in this video. So, hopefully, won't be right away, but eventually I'll add a card where it'll be like right there. And you be able to have a link to that video and the name of it. Take a look at that. Oh, that will wrap up the NCAA playoffs semifinals preview along with the rest of the bowl games. As soon as we have the finals, I'll have a preview of the championship game for the FCS and the FBS. So, let's get out of here. NFL Week 17 is also on the Robert Sports Show, as always. Thanks for watching the Robert Sports Show. Don't just have a great night, have an American night.